Welcome to Planet Microcap. I'm your host, Robert Kraft, and joining me today is Mars Cord. He is the president and CEO of Wallbridge Mining. It's a publicly traded company. The symbol is WM on the TSX, and Wallbridge will be presenting at the upcoming Precious Metal Summit Beaver Creek, happening September 13th through 16th, 2022. For more information, please go to precioussummit.com. And with that, Mars, thank you for joining me today. How you doing?
Hey, Robert, how are you doing? I'm doing well.
I'm doing well too. Thank you for asking. So last time we did an interview together, we published that August 2021. But before we get into all the updates and everything like that, for anybody that doesn't know the Wallbridge story, can you give us that quick overview of the company?
Sure. We've been focusing on our flagship projects along the Detour Fenelon Gold Trend in northern Quebec. This is a northern break at the Sunday Lake Deformation Zone, very similar to the southern Abitibi belts, such as the Val-d'Or to Rouyn-Noranda or the Timmins or Kirkland Lake Camp. We currently own about over 900 square kilometer land package along this break, essentially right from the Ontario border, about 97 kilometers to the east. This belt that we currently own already shows 3 large gold systems. One of them on the Ontario side happens to be the one of Canada's largest gold mines that has been producing for the past many years, is the Detour Lake Mine. And we've identified 2 other large gold systems at Fenelon and Martiniere, which we own 100% of. Last November in 2021, November of 2021, we came up with the maiden mineral resource estimate at Fenelon, as well as an updated mineral resource estimate at Martiniere, which is about 30 kilometers away from Fenelon. Together between the two, we have about 4.4 million ounces, about 60% of that in the indicated category. After that mineral resource estimate, we put a program together in order to do an updated mineral resource estimate at Fenelon, because we see the continuity of the zones, a lot of room for expansion of that mineral resource estimate, as well as be able to improve the quality of that mineral resource estimate. So this year's program was roughly about 150,000 meters, which will be completed before the end of this year. And based on that, we'll be updating the mineral resource estimate at Fenelon as well as the Martiniere. We're hoping that we'd be able to deliver that by Q1 of 2023, and then carry that into an economic study, be able to deliver to the market the value of this deposit. This is a pretty underexplored land package along this 97-kilometer stretch. And so far, we've been able to successfully explore and find these deposits at Fenelon as well as expanding at Martiniere. And we're hoping that this belt, judging from some of the exploration that we've done along the, regionally along the area, that we'll hopefully be able to find other deposits on this entire belt.
So Mars, thank you for that overview. You actually went into a lot of a couple other questions that I wanted to ask you about, but specifically, we were talking offline about some of the recent news that the company did. So like I said, we published our last interview. We put that out August 31st, 2021. What would you say are some of the things that you want our audience to understand better about some of the highlights that the company has recently put out there?
Sure. So first of all, since August of last year, we delivered the resource estimates, as I mentioned, at Martiniere and Fenelon. But more importantly, we also owned a large portfolio of nickel PGM assets in Wallbridge that we weren't getting any value for. And over the past 18 months or so, we've been trying to get value for those, either through a spin out or through a sale to a group that is going to be able to advance those. And we finally found a group that is very credible. It's Archer Exploration, which is backed by Inventa Capital. And we announced that about a few weeks ago. And in that transaction, basically, essentially, we are selling all of the assets, obligations, liabilities, and rights of all of our nickel portfolio of our nickel assets to Archer Exploration. So as part of the completion of the transaction, which is expected to be completed around Q4 of this year, Wallbridge will receive just about 85% of the of the shares of Archer in that transaction. But they have to do a minimum of $10 million financing. Post-financing, we're still going to own about 72 to 75% of that company. We intend to keep about 19.9% as a founding stake within Wallbridge, and the balance of that, we're going to return that to our shareholders. And that's why we just also announced this week that we're going to have a special meeting to ask our shareholders whether they want that as a dividend or as a return of capital. And just to explain, a dividend would be taxable, a return of capital will not be taxable. So I'm assuming the answer would probably be there already for us, but based on the regulations, we needed to ask that. So that's why the special meeting is there.
Absolutely. All right. Well, to close us out here today, from what you can tell us, what would you say are some of the, and you've alluded to this a little bit earlier in some of your other answers, but from what you can tell us, what would you say are some of the company's near-term value catalysts that you want our audience to pay attention to?
So we've been drilling with 9 drills all year, and we are continuing to do that, perhaps towards the end of the year. And with 9 drills, we've been continuing to provide updates to the market in terms of the exploration results, and we'll continue to do so for the balance of this year and going into next year. But we also talked about updating the mineral resource estimate at both Fenelon and Martiniere. So that's our focus in the next catalyst would certainly be an updated resource that we're hoping would improve the quality of the resource as well as its quantity. But more importantly, from our point of view, since the last resource update was had an open pit that was quite deep, and we see now that the deposit itself would be primarily an underground deposit with some smaller open pits, and that would be basically the basis of this updated mineral resource estimate at Fenelon, and then carry that into an economic study, which we're hoping that shortly thereafter we'd be able to announce that as well.
Well, with that, where can our audience go and find more information on Wallbridge Mining?
Well, certainly all of the information is on our website at wallbridgemining.com, but also under the SEDAR, SEDAR.com, you'll be able to find other information regarding the transaction or our activities at the company.
Very good. Well, Mars, thank you so much for joining me today. Really do appreciate it. Good luck. Stay safe. And I'll see you in Beaver Creek.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Robert.
Thank you. And again, Wallbridge Mining will be presenting at the upcoming Precious Metal Summit Beaver Creek, happening September 13th through 16th, 2022. For more information, please visit precioussummit.com.